Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to this webinar. This webinar will give you an introduction to reporting with monday.com. I see people from all over the world. I see India, Argentina, Orlando, Scotland, Uganda, Texas, New York. Wow, I can't read. You guys are, are typing so fast. This is very exciting. We have 1,400 people right now. So this is amazing. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so my name is Danielle, and I am a customer success manager here at monday.com. And as you guys can hear, I am very excited to be here. So just to make sure that you can hear me and you can see the presentation on the screen, just send a smiley face in the chat. Perfect. Oh my God, so many smileys. Amazing. Great. Okay, amazing, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to point out that we are still working from home here at monday.com due to the coronavirus. So if by any chance there are connection issues, please hang in there and I will do my best to solve them as quickly as possible. Remember, guys, we are all in this together and we will make through this. We will get through this together. So this month, we are focusing on reporting, yay! And we have two webinars planned. The one today, which will touch on the core features you can use to create reports in monday.com. And another one next week, which will focus on more advanced features, allowing more complex reporting practices and recently added capabilities, which are amazing. So I think in these special times, it is very important to stay focused and be able to see the bigger picture. And I will do my best to show you how to do exactly that with monday.com, whether if you are at the office or working from home. Is it, oh, I see you guys are talking about my, my mic. Is it okay now? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, great. So something that I want to say is that this webinar assumes that you do have some knowledge of the monday.com platform. If by any chance you are brand new to the platform, first of all, welcome. It's amazing that you're here, but I do recommend first watching a basic walkthrough webinar, which we do run multiple times a week, Monday to Wednesday and Fridays. You can book a slot to one of the sessions at monday.com/webinars, or just watch one on demand. We won't be getting into the basic features in this webinar. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box. I see that people are already doing that, which is amazing. I will do my very best to get to as many of them as possible in the second part of this webinar. We do have 1,800 people at the moment, so I hope that we will get through as many as possible. I do have my colleague Itai here today that will be helping me with the questions as well as the webinar goes on, so you might be getting a live answer to your question. I also want to stress, like I said in the beginning, that a recording of this webinar will be sent automatically to those who attended or registered to this webinar, and will also appear on our webinars page. So don't worry, we got you covered. You will have a recording of this. Perfect. So let's get started. Okay. So today I will talk about how to create different reports for two main use cases using monday.com. These are, of course, the example that I will be using, but everything I do today you can replicate on your board and for any use case that you might be using monday.com for. We will go over the formula column, some advanced filters, the chart view, search everything, dashboards, and some of our amazing widgets. And of course, the most important part, our live Q&A. So before we start diving in, we need to ask ourselves, what exactly is reporting and what is it meant for? Reporting gives us the ability to see the bigger picture, get a breakdown of the information we need in different ways, and allow us to draw insights about our organization and make more data-driven decisions. Who can benefit from reporting insights, you ask? Well, wonderful question. Reporting is usually reserved for managers, but it's actually super relevant for the entire team. Reporting helps everyone understand how they are performing against their goals and also discover places for improvements. In short, reporting shows us reality as well as opportunity, and we love it. So let's jump right into my monday.com account. Welcome. You're all welcome to my account. As I said, we're going to look at two different use cases using two boards and workflows to understand some of the core ways to create reports based on your boards. So one of the most common things for teams to report on is budgets. So in our first use case, we are going to talk about managing a company's budget. So I have this board. It's called budget tracking. Very surprising, I know. And in this board, I have a few goals. I want to see my overall budget for the entire company. I also want to see the budget per department, and I want to see it per quarter. So in order to do that, I divided the board so that the groups represent my financial quarters. And every item is a different department in my organization. You can see I have sales, marketing, R&D, operations, and HR. And this is repeating for every quarter, of course. I have my people column here so I can see who is in charge of each department. And I have two number columns next to each other. One is for my budget, and one is for my actual spending for each department. I also have a list updated so I can see different changes that are being made to this board, and I can stay on top of everything. Perfect. So the most important thing for budgeting is quickly understanding if you're under budget or over budget. This we can see and do using one of my favorite columns, the formula column. This column allows you to do simple and advanced calculation on your board, thus amplifying your data extraction capabilities. So we're going to add our formula column. We're going to click on more columns right here, search for our formula, and add our wonderful formula column here. So once I add my column, I have this pop-up that opens the place that I can actually insert my formula. And it shows me the different columns I can use on the board right here. And it also shows me beneath that all the different functions, and there are quite a few that I can use. Each function also shows you a description of the function and how to use it in this column. So in our case, since we want to know if we are under budget or over budget, we are going to use the if formula, and we will set it up right now. So I click on the if. And now I want to create my different conditions. So I'm going to say that if my budget is smaller than my actual spending, then if I want to create a condition, I use my comma. Then I want my formula to show me over budget. Great. Now, if I only had two conditions, over budget or under budget, what I could do in this case, I could add another comma, meaning add another condition. This means that if what I just wrote doesn't happen, so if the budget is not smaller than the actual spending, what the formula will show, it will show under budget. And I can close it with this. But I do have more than two conditions in this specific case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my comma, but instead of giving the second condition, I'm going to add another if. So once again, if my budget, but this time is bigger than my actual spending, then I am under budget. Amazing. Another comma. And another if, because we do have our third option. If my budget equals my actual spending, then I am on budget. Now I am going to set this formula. And oh no, I have an error message, an illegal formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my formula and I'm going to go over it to see what I missed. And I can see here that I missed a second quotation mark. Now it's really important for me to really tell you guys that the formula is really important to keep the structure of the formula correct. Using the quotation mark, using the commas, using every mark where it's needed. Otherwise, we will get an error message. So now let's go back and review the formula again. If my budget is smaller than my actual spending, we are over budget. If my budget is bigger than my actual spending, we are under budget. And if my budget equals my actual spending, we are on budget. I'm closing my 3 ifs. Everything looks all right. Let's try setting it again. Yay, it works. Perfect. I can now see very easily the formula column is showing me if my departments are under, over, or on budget. Exactly what I wanted. Great. We can even change the name right here to over/under budget so we can see it very clearly. Perfect. So I also created another formula right here that calculates the difference between my budget and actual spending. So I can track how much budget I have left for each department. I did this simply by subtracting the spending column from the budget column. So it's a very easy formula to make, and I can see very easily how much budget I have left or how much budget I'm over in case that I'm over budget. And also in here at the bottom of the column, I can see the sum, which is very, very helpful. If I click it, I will be able to choose the unit and the function of this specific section. And I can see the overall sum, which is really important for me because as I said, I want to see the overall budget for the entire company and not just by quarters or by department. So this is very important. And also, you can see here that I have NA. This is because we're not using any numerical figures right here. So if I don't want to see this, if this is bothering me, I can simply click on this down-facing arrow and I can hide column summary and we will not have to look at that NA on our board. Great. Now that I have this very, very useful information, I do want to be able to drill down and see the information per department. So in order to do this, I am going to use our advanced filters and filter the board. I actually want to see it by quarter. So I'm going to use right here, you can click on this little sign right here, the filter sign, and I'm going to look at Q1. So this is amazing. This shows me only Q1. And what I can actually do is I can also pick multiple filters to see an even more drilled down picture. So I'm going to see in Q1 which departments are over budget. I can see that I have sales and R&D that have been spending way too much and I need to do something about it. I can save this as a new view. So I can rename it and I can go back to it whenever I need this more drilled down information. And this allows me to generate immediate reports very easily. I can always go back to my main table and see the bigger picture or go back to my filtered view and see this information anytime I need. Great, so I'm just going to stop to check if everyone is okay. Just send me a little smiley face to see that everything is fine. Great. Perfect. I love that wine glass. Perfect. I hope you're listening to me with a glass of wine. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, guys. Okay, amazing. Okay. So we're going to move on to our next use case. We saw the budget, we saw what we can do. We have a very informational board here. Now we're going to switch to a board which tracks the leads of my sales department. I can see here who is in charge of each deal, the status, the potential deal size, and more details of my specific deals. And something that is very important for reporting on the data on your board is to have a more visual picture. For some of us, that is very, very important. So the chart view is a great way of visualizing your data in a graphical form. So we're going to add our lovely chart view. Ignore my existing one. I may have pre-prepared one for you guys. So for those of you who didn't see, I clicked right here on the main, next to the main table. I did add view and I added my chart view, and I have my chart view open right here and my settings open on the right. So here I will be able to pick the type of chart that I want to use. I have pie, I have bar, I have line, and I have stacked. We won't be talking about stacked this week, but little spoiler, we will be talking about it next week, so feel free to join me then. But I'm going to choose a pie chart because I think that is the best way to show my deals at the moment. I want to see it by the status, so I want to see how many deals we have won, how many we have lost, and how many we have in negotiations at the moment. I can see that we have won and lost the same amount of deals. But here, as you can see that I can count the items, but I can also use my deal size to look at it. And this way, I can see that we may have won and lost the same amount of deals, but actually we won bigger deals than the deals that we have lost. So that is good for me. That is good for me to know. That is very important data to draw from my board. Great. I also wanted to show you another possible chart. Here I used my bar chart. And when we're using a bar chart, we have x-axis and a y-axis. So here I did my x-axis on my sales rep and the deal size. I want to see the deal sizes that my team members are working on at the moment. So this is very important for me to see. We have Ron starring here, and we have Noi that we might need to help her a bit more. Great. So once you're done building your chart, you will always be able to go back to it on the board by clicking on the drop down right here. I will be able to see the other chart that I created or go back to my main table. And once you add additional information to your board, it will automatically update the chart view as well, so you don't have to keep maintaining it. So before we finish with the chart view, I wanted to show you another option. A very important option for our chart. We're going back to our budget, and we have a chart view here. So when we are working with a chart view, it is important to know that this only works with one board. We can choose more than one y-axis. So here I did it. I actually chose my budgeted and actual spending, so I can see in a visual way what is going on in each department when we're talking about the budget. And I can also filter here. So I can choose to see only the over budget departments, and I can see exactly how much they went over budget and the overall budget that we have. And we can see it in a very visual way and create this report very easily. And another very important thing that we can do is share these reports. So maybe you want to share this data with someone that is not necessarily on the board or not necessarily on our account. We do have two ways of sharing this information. We can export this information right here and use it and share it with other people, or we can share this view. By clicking on these little three dots right here, we can pick to share this view and we'll actually receive a shareable link. This will create a view-only view that you can share with anyone that you want. They won't be able to edit anything. They will only be able to see this view that you are sending them. You can actually do that on the main table or even the filter table that we created. So that is a great way of sharing the data and the reports that you are creating with other people. Great. Okay. We're going to learn more about the chart view, don't worry, and the chart widget, which lets you build charts in our dashboard, which we'll get to in a quick moment in the advanced reporting webinar next week. So join me if you're interested to learn more. Guys, I can see that you're writing questions in the chat. I do recommend writing the questions in the Q&A section. There we have 1,900 people right now, and things will get lost in the chat. So in order for us to get to your questions, please try to add them in the Q&A. Great, moving on. A great feature that can be used to see relevant information according to parameters that you set across all of your boards is search everything. So search everything is right here underneath this little magnifying glass, which we can click on. As you can see, I use it a lot. Okay, great. So here we will be able to search for data across boards and see it all in one place. So let's think of a scenario. Let's say I'm working on multiple projects at the moment, which is happening. And each project is on a separate board, which is also happening. And I want to see all the tasks that are assigned to me because I am working with a team and it's getting a bit messy for me. I can simply write my name right here. You saw a little preview of my search. And I will see under one place all of the items that are assigned to me. Also, I have my name right here, so this is also coming up. I can add my last name to make sure that we are seeing only things that are assigned to me. And here I can see everything. I can see the board right here that this is under, and I can see all the boards that have tasks that are assigned to me. Now, maybe I want a more specific search, so I want to see all the items that are assigned to me that are currently stuck. So I can search for my name and status, and I will see that information right here from across all the boards on my account. I will see what am I assigned to that is currently labeled as stuck in one of the status columns that I have. Now, another important thing that I can do here is I can define my range of dates. I can filter by specific dates and I can search by those dates. This is very important if you are creating reports and you want to search for specific information that is relevant to the report that you are creating. I can search archives as well. So if by any chance I archived an item, I can search there. And finally, I can export everything to Excel. So again, I can share this information with people that are outside of my account. Amazing. Great. You guys okay? Everyone? Amazing. I like communicating with smileys. That's a great thing to do. Okay, so now we've learned about some of our core reporting functionalities from within the boards themselves. But it's likely, however, that in order to get better insights from your monday.com account, you will want to see information from multiple boards. So this is where our amazing dashboards come in. I love our dashboards. Our dashboards allow the creation of reports using data from one or several boards, allowing you to see all the information in one place. So they are live like the views. So they automatically update based on the data living in the boards, which they are connected to. So you don't have to keep maintaining them. You don't have to work for the system. The system will work for you. Perfect. So the dashboard is made up of widgets. We will go in and just see a dashboard right now. These are widgets, these squares. And these widgets are actually different ways for us to show our data. I will show you some options of widgets you can add and how to set up a dashboard and widgets for your needs in a minute. So don't worry, we will go through the entire process. But before we do that, I want to show you a dashboard I created previously, which we are seeing right now, just to show the potential of what a dashboard can look like. So this one shows my goals and where the company currently stands. So you can see my lovely dashboard right here, but we will go through some of these widgets and we will explain everything about them later. Let's start with building a dashboard from scratch. Now, before we do that, you guys are very lucky because you're going to get a sneak peek into a new improvement that we will be releasing soon. This is actually not out yet. This will change the way that we set up dashboards. So you're getting the first view of our new, simpler way to build dashboards. This is what we call data structure. Some of you might have heard about it before. And it allows you to set the boards you connect to the dashboard on the dashboard level and not per widget like it was before. So just to make it clear, before we used to create a dashboard, we just had this dashboard open up, nothing would have happened. And then as we added the different widgets, we had to set the boards for each widget. So choose our boards again and again and again for each widget. But now you start by choosing boards to connect to every widget added to your dashboard. I will show you in a minute and it will all be very clear, I promise. You can always then exclude certain boards, so you don't have to have all widgets connected to all boards if it's not relevant. And this structure was created in order to make the setting process easier, quicker, and smoother for you. I can see the excitement in the chat, and guys, I am so excited too. So let's create the dashboard and I will show you exactly how it will look. So when we create a dashboard, just like our boards, we can choose between a main and a private dashboard. So as I said, I'm working on a few projects at the moment, so I want to see my projects overview in this dashboard, and we will keep it main. I'm all about sharing. So as you can see, the moment I create a dashboard, I get a pop-up asking me to choose my boards. I choose my boards on the dashboard level, meaning that this entire dashboard will be connected to the boards that I choose. So I'm going to connect it to my project boards. I have 3 of them right here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to click done. So right now we have 3 boards connected to this entire dashboard. And this dashboard will show me overall high level of the status of these 3 projects. So now that I chose my boards, I can start setting up my widgets. So when reporting on projects, progress is super important, of course. And here I want to see the overall progress across all 3 projects. So to do that, I'm going to add a battery widget. Amazing. So as you can see, my boards are automatically connected to these widgets. I don't have to set it up anymore. If I do want to exclude a board, I do have my board section right here. And I can come here and I can say, I don't want to see project 3, and it will automatically exclude it. I can then re-add it to this widget. So you can always do that. Great. So here I can choose which status column to include because I am talking about progress. So I'm talking about status columns. If I have more than one, I can choose more than one or just the relevant ones I want to include in this widget. I can choose my completion label, and I can choose weight. What does that mean? If I have a number column on my board that represents, let's say, estimated time or price of certain items, or maybe deal size like we saw before, I can actually add weight to my items, and that will count them if they're higher rate or lower rate in my progress. I'm not going to do that right now, but know that you do have that option. I showed you the boards, and we can choose the groups. Maybe I only want to show planning. Maybe I only want to show next month. Maybe I only want to show the top group, and then it can always update to stay on that group. Here, I want to see all of my groups. Everything is relevant at the moment to show me my progress. Amazing. Let's rename it. Overview. Well, it's progress overview, of course. If I can get it to work, this will be amazing. Oh, okay, great. So I'm just going to make it bigger because this is important for me, and I'm going to drag it to the middle because we want everyone to see this and be aware of our progress. So once I have it set up, we can see the overall progress super visually. We can also click on the different colors and see all the items underneath this specific label. So everything that we are working on at the moment, everything that we are stuck on, this is super helpful to drill down into these statuses. So I really recommend it. And I could also create 3 widgets right here to show me per project, my progress per project. We're not going to do that because we do have more to go through, but you can really play with it and do it in whatever way that is more convenient for your workflow. So another amazing widget that I'm going to add is my timeline widget. I can use it to show us the range of dates of all the tasks in our projects using the timeline or date columns from each one of the boards. I can zero in on a specific time frame, so days, weeks, month, even years. So this is great, and I can view it in Gantt mode. So this really helps me to plan ahead for a specific team or for my entire company if I have all of my relevant boards here. You can also add the calendar widget if you prefer to see all the tasks in a calendar based again on the date columns in a board. So that is a great way. We can quickly add it right here. Again, another great way to view future projects and plan accordingly. You can set anything that you want. You can set both of them if that works for you. And we can get a really clear picture right here. Amazing. So let's go back to my yearly goals dashboard to see some more exciting widgets. So in this dashboard, I do have 2 number widgets in the top right here. They are showing me our goal for the ARR and how much we have won so far. So these widgets are pulling this data from numbers column, like I showed you before. I have set up on my leads board, sorry. And showing me the overall sum of those boards. I can show you right here. By the way, if sometimes you don't see the option to add a widget or to edit, that means just you're not on edit mode. We have edit and view mode. So once we click on edit, we can go in right here and I can go into the settings. I can see that this is connected to my leads management. And here this is the specific column that I want to include. We have the setting options right here, and again, choosing my groups. And on this specific widget, I do have my filter. We have advanced filters on widgets as well. And I filtered only my won deals because I want to see how much we have won so far and how much we have left to get to our goal. We do have some work cut out for us, but I believe in the team. Okay, so I have a chart here showing me how many deals were lost, won, and are being worked on. This is very similar. This is actually exactly what we saw, just in a bar chart. As I mentioned, the dashboards pull data from multiple boards, which is very, very helpful, especially where you might have your data scattered across boards, but they still have all of them have impact on the overall goal. So an example for this situation for my case would be if I had a leads board per sales team and I had more than one team. So I want to know how much of the deals of each team bring in overall, or how much deals we have won from each team. If you just have one board like me to pull the data from, it's great. You'll simply display the same chart like we created on the chart view, but here we can see it with other widgets, so it does create an overall picture and a great report for us. I also have the time tracking widget here that is collecting the time that my team members have tracked on the different projects they are working on. In case you are not familiar with the time tracking column, let me just show it very quickly. You can see here my team is tracking time. They can either press on the play and they will track the time live, or they can add a session manually. They are all tracking the time right here, and the dashboard, the widget, is actually just summing all the time per agent. So if we go in to my settings, we can see right here, I can see the time tracked by the assignee, my status, my entire board. And I want to show you a new ability we added that I think is amazing. If you've had any experience with this widget, I think you will be excited about this as well. You can now group this widget by the time tracking sessions. So you can see how much time each member has tracked, even if it's under the same column and under the same item. So right here, I can choose this and I can see how much time each of my team members have tracked. Even if it was on the same item, they will still be able to, I will still be able to see the overall time. You can still choose by assignee. Yes, we do have a spelling mistake right here. We are on it, don't worry, we are aware of it. But yes, this is amazing. This makes this widget so much more helpful. This is already available for all of you guys, so you can now use it. This is a really powerful reporting tool to understand how long tasks are actually taking. Which can then always be compared to how long you expected a task to take. And it's also a great way to report to, let's say, clients where you work, your work is based on time. And moving on to one of my favorite widgets, it's pretty simple, but I just love it. The table widget. This allows us to see multiple boards in one place. So for me, I am in charge of my lead management, and I am also in charge of my budget, as you saw. So I don't have to go back and forth. I can see both boards right here. I can filter the boards to get better drill down and a picture. I can make changes from the widget itself, which then it gets updated in its corresponding board. So that is amazing. And a lot of you guys ask us if there is an option to create a board with groups that have different structures. So this is an awesome way to do that. You can create it in separate boards, but see everything under one place. So it's basically just like one board. So that is a great solution for that. Amazing. So the last thing I want to show you guys before we get to your questions is the fact that you can subscribe team members and guests from your accounts to the dashboards. We can click on this little person icon right here and just choose a teammate. Any team member or guest on your account you can add to these dashboards. And this way you can share them as super visual, colorful, and easy to read reports, so everyone can see all the amazing insights in one place. If it's teams or the entire organization, anyone and everyone can align on the data. Okay, that is it for today. So thank you for being here. It was so much fun. Hope you're all safe. Hope you're all staying in. As I said, we will get through this together, these weird times. And yeah,